Hey folks, Borg Billy here, and I'm back to talk about some new things that I've been learning to do with the QuNeo and the 1010 Music Blackbox. I think this is a great combination for live performance and something I've been having a lot of fun with over the last 6 or 8 months. So let's jump right into it. I've put together a template for the QuNeo that's it's very simplistic, but it's a powerful tool when you're working with a black box. So basically, what I've got the pads all set up to default to the pads up here on the black box. And so I've got a series of one shots, and then I have some loops and and I've also got a little one shot that's playing several slices, and they're staggered so that it's never quite the same every time. Now, so that's standard gaming practice whenever you're playing with any kind of pad controller with the black box. But the neat thing about the QuNeo is I've set up a bank switch. So when I hit this bank switch, you see this green LED lit up in the up arrow. That now is controlling the sequences. So the black box is rolling right now. So if I fire one of these off, it should kick off a sequence. So I can fire off sequences on and off, and I can jump back to my pads and play live with the pads if I want. And I can jump back to the sequences again. And then back to the pads. Maybe throw in a loop. So it just makes it to where you don't have to negotiate between the pads and the sequences screen on the black box, and you can fire everything off from the QuNeo without having to change pages over here. You do have to remember where all your sequences live and what pads are doing what, but if you remember it as part of a performance, it should be easy to dial it in. One of the other things that I did with this template was I built 4 very simple MIDI continuous controllers on the 4 vertical sliders of the QuNeo. And these are each on a unique address, so they can be assigned to 4 different things. And I got rid of all of the things that are normally part of the QuNeo's templates, which is when you hit it, it makes a MIDI note, and it also measures pressure of how hard you're pushing down on the pad, as well as the location of where your finger is on the pad. So I took it down to just its simplest level of just nothing but the continuous controller of values that slide up and down the slider, and no pressure or velocity or anything like that. And these are really, really handy when you want to apply them to a parameter for a sample on one of your pads. So for instance, we have a snare sample here. What I'm going to do is go into that sample, look at the info for it. Second page on the main menu, you've got filter, level, pitch. What I want to do is I want to be able to control the filter using this first slider. So I just come in, click on the little black box underneath the word filter here, and now if I hit the learn button, I can move that slider, and it has now mapped that to that parameter. So now this slider is controlling the filter. And it's interesting, if we give it a listen here. So the way the black box filter works is anything with a MIDI message value above 63, it starts raising the cutoff frequency of a high-pass filter. So starting right here in the middle, which is about where value 63 would be. And see, as I raise it, it starts filtering out all the low-frequency components of the sound. And conversely, as I lower it below 63, it lowers the cutoff frequency of a low-pass filter. Which is filtering out all of the high-frequency information and leaving just the lows to go through. So that's kind of a fun thing to do with one of these. And it's very performable too. So let's look at some other kind of fun things that you can do with this. We can also use it to control pitch. So I'm going to take this little chant that I've got up here, and we're going to take a look at its parameters in the pad menu. And if I go to the second page of that menu, I see I've got level, filter, pitch. If I click on one of these black boxes underneath pitch and tell it to learn and just move one of the sliders, now this slider has been assigned to control the pitch of that particular sample. And much like the filter, at midpoint on the slider, it's going to be sitting at roughly no change in pitch. As I slide it up, it's going to increase the pitch. And conversely, if I slide it down, it will lower the pitch. So, once again, a very handy and interesting performance tool. So, one other thing that I found that was really kind of fun to work with the sliders was to apply them to effects. So let's go back to our snare here, and we're going to go in and apply a little bit of slider action to the delay time for one of the effects. So we'll go to FX1, which is our delay, select the info button, and then right here we've got delay time, and it's got the little black boxes under it, which means we can route this MIDI controller to it. And we'll tell it once again to learn. We'll use this second slider. And so now that slider is going to be controlling the delay time for whatever delay we put on the snare. So if I go back a page, so pretty cool effect. And when you get all this going on in a performance, it gives you a lot of flexibility on what you can do with the pads and the sequencer. Well, there it is. Some kind of cool ways to use a QuNeo with a black box. Once again. And I will make this template available. Just shoot me a line off of the 1010 Blackbox forum page. I'm Borg Billy. Just shoot me a line and I will email you a copy of this template. I'm going to explore it further and hope to find some even more exciting things to do with it. We'll see you next time.